Assalamu alaikum, namaskar, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are back on the air with Muheeb Hoque, and welcome back to Let's Talk Education and Career. Today on our program, we will discuss the student budget. I will give you some tips and tricks on how to manage and live on a student budget. Last week on our program, we briefly discussed part-time student jobs, and in that session, we talked about budgeting skills. So today, we will talk about budget and budgeting skills. So, let's get started. Being a student is an expensive business. Around £11,000 a year for the UK students and 16,000 Australian dollars for international students studying in Australia. This is the living cost per year. Fees and rent will use up most of this amount, but with some good planning, you can have some left over for a social life. So, how do you draw up a budget that's realistic and workable? Here are my tips. Number one, put pen to paper. Start with a sheet divided into two sections headed income and expenses, and write down all of your sources of money and all the things you expect to have to shell out for. Don't forget costs like laundry or library charges alongside rent, food, and books, because it all adds up. Another thing is transportation costs. Do not underestimate transportation costs. Being aware of how you spend your money can also show you where you could be saving, such as cutting down on coffees or making your own sandwiches or cooking at home. Personally, when I was doing my studies, I found that cooking at home was a great way for me to save a lot of money. Number two, organize your income. While expenses will crop up on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, your income may come in a lump sum. If you get a maintenance loan, for example, it will arrive in chunks at the start of each term. If you have been working in the summer holidays before you start university, you will have a lump sum at the start of the year. However, as time goes on, that sum might start to diminish. It can be a good idea to put the money to cover your rent or hall fees into a separate account that you don't touch on a day-to-day basis. That way, you know how much you have left to spend for the rest of the term. Divide up any money you have left so you know how much you have to spend each week. Whether income is in the form of a loan, parental contribution, bursary, or wages, know where it's coming from before it arrives. Work out how it breaks down week by week, term by term. Third point, maximize your income. 4 out of 10 students have a job while they study. We spoke about how to get a part-time role and the benefits of working part-time as you're studying. So this is a great way for you to maximize your student income as well. But you shouldn't work too much, says experts. Try to keep it less than 20 hours a week in term time while you're studying. This will allow you to have a great work and study balance. Number 4, get help. Your university or college bank branch will most likely have a student advisor. Take advantage of them. The advice will be free and they can help you manage your money better. Ask about free student banking, overdraft interest rates and charges, and any student loans they offer. Your student welfare office will also have seen it all before and might be able to help with Access College hardship funds as well. Number 5, get a discount. Look out for deals such as special offer haircuts and take advantage of money off vouchers, buy one get one free offers, and student deals in restaurants, bars, or at the cinema. I know when I was studying, I always had my student card with me, and it allowed me to get concession rates on public transport. If I went out for movies with my friends, you were able to access student rates. So be aware of this and utilize them. Use the extra card to get money off at your favorite retailers as well. National and regional offers are listed on student focused discount websites. For example, in Australia, it's Cheap Tuesdays. So on Tuesdays, you could get food at a cheaper rate than other time of the week. So utilize these things. Brings me to my sixth point, which is learn to cook. I know we touched on this briefly. Even university canteens will charge a couple of dollars for something you can make yourself in a matter of minutes. Make your own sandwiches, refill your water or juice bottle, get your flask and make your own coffee for lectures. Carry it with you. Use markets instead of supermarkets to buy cheap vegetables and fruit. Buy home brand labels in the big stores. And if you don't know how to cook, get a decent cookbook in sale or at a secondhand shop. And get some staple meals or learn to cook some staple meals like rice in bulk. And you can eat well for a week. You could also call your mom and learn how to cook the yummy food she made for you at home. Now, my seventh point, turn unneeded things into cash. eBay, Amazon, these are great places to buy and sell used old textbooks which you no longer need. Worth knowing when faced with a reading list, auction sites like eBay are also great for getting rid of unwanted presents or misplaced purchases. If not online, you can also use campus notice boards and bookshops. In many countries, there are also second-hand fairs where you can sell old clothes if they're in good condition, along with showpieces that you might have. My next point, manage your debt. You will be offered student overdrafts, student credit cards, and student store cards, but think carefully before you accept any of them as well. A low interest rate overdraft can be a useful tool to help stretch the term's money, but watch the fees and the interest rate. A 0% credit can also be useful for paying off big ticket items or short term borrowing, but don't keep money on it for longer than the 0% offer lasts. You will be hammered with interest. If you don't have a 0% card, remember to include the repayments in your monthly budget. Now, another point, this is our ninth point, is keep tabs on your spending. I know I have mentioned this before, but I'm going to make extra emphasis on this. Online banking, everybody has access to now. Make sure on a daily basis you read your statements. Look at your receipts. Save your receipts in a jar. Compare prices in the different supermarkets and take out more than you need from the cash machine. It all helps you control of what you've got. Another thing is avoid unnecessary expenses. For example, don't smoke. Obviously, it's bad for your health and it's very expensive in countries when you're studying overseas. A 10-day habit will cost you more than $150 to $2,000 a year if you are a chain smoker. If you are living in private accommodation, make sure that you, along with your housemates, sort out some of your household bills and share the internet bill as well. Avoid using laundrettes if you can. They chew through money. Get your flatmates together and get a washing machine, a second-hand washing machine. It will help you save a lot of money. Use free budgeting resources that are available to you. When you go to a university orientation, they will always run workshops around student budgeting, and they will tell you free budgeting resources you can use. A good place to start would be the university website. Not only will this help you list all the things you need to budget for, it will assist you in working out just how much to save in order to afford the things you like. Another way you can save money is renting with friends instead of living on university campuses. If you are someone like me who has had to relocate for university, try not to do it alone. The cost of living on college includes food and utilities. Renting with a friend means that these costs are divided between a few of you rather than having to foot the entire bill yourself. I'll tell you, when I first moved to Australia as an international student, I rented a house with 5 other friends. We all had our own bedrooms. However, we were able to split all our bills, and this helped me tremendously. Another thing you need to take into consideration is the different transportation options. Different countries with different cities has different transportation options. Some are better with public transport, others you will need to invest in a car. So take note on how much money you're spending on public transport, and if you have a car, take note on the fuel cost and compare this with what it would cost to use the alternative. Even better, if you know someone heading to university around the same time as you, try to either carpool together or walk together if the university is walking distance. This will definitely help you save a fair amount of money. My next tip would be to visit local op shops. On many occasions, there are items at these shops that are of high quality and at a bargain price. So, your university will also have a secondhand bookstore. This is a type of op shop where you could go and purchase secondhand textbooks. My second last point is don't let the laziness win. Sometimes we get so caught up in uni, we become lazy when it comes to preparing food. Let's face it, heading somewhere and buying food is way easier, right? Remember, save money by using up the food in your house first before giving into your cravings or impulse food buys. And to my very last point, chat with student services at your university. I strongly recommend that you approach the student services if you require support or would like to discuss your financial situation. Not only will they provide you with advice on your budget, they're also willing to assist with any other concerns, obtaining scholarships, applying for jobs, and will even help organize your accommodation according to your dollars. And that brings us to the end of our show today. I wish you all future international and domestic students happy budgeting. I hope you found it useful and have enjoyed this show. I look forward to sharing more tips and tricks in our next show. Assalamu alaikum and goodbye until next time. Thank you.